Hey, everybody. This is the biggest business mistake you don't even know you're making, AKA, congratulations. You might be the problem. Hello, my fellow overworked, overcaffeinated business owners. I have a question for you today, and I need you to answer it honestly. If you disappeared from your business tomorrow for 30 days, what would happen? And when I say disappeared, I don't mean your version of vacation because I know business owner vacation. You tell everybody, I'm taking next week off. And then you're answering emails at 6:14 in the morning from a hotel room. You're responding to Slack while sitting by the pool. Your spouse is staring at you from across the table while you're whispering, I'm so sorry. This will literally take 2 seconds. I promise. 45 minutes later, you're still on the phone. That's not a vacation. That's remote work with a margarita. There's nothing wrong with that, technically. I'm talking about actually disappearing. No phone, no email, no Slack, no Teams, just text me if it's an emergency because somehow everything becomes an emergency when the owner goes on vacation. Could your company function? Would your clients still get taken care of? Would sales happen? Would invoices go out? Would employees know what decisions they could make? Would projects still move forward? Or would your entire organization slowly descend into a Lord of the Flies situation because nobody knows the password to QuickBooks? If that second scenario feels comfortably or uncomfortably possible, welcome. Today, we're talking about owner dependency. And unfortunately, I have some bad news. The biggest problem in your business might be you, boo-boo. I'm Kortney Morningstar. I own Medici Marketing, and this is Build Business Better. And before anybody gets offended, don't worry. I'm talking about myself too, probably more than I'd like to admit. So I have a confession. I am extremely guilty of something. And if you're a business owner, I have a feeling you've done this too. Someone asks you how to do something. You start explaining it. Then somewhere around minute 3, your brain says, you know what? It would literally be faster if I just did this myself. So you say, just send it to me. Ah. The famous last words, because congratulations, you have just volunteered for another job inside the company you supposedly own. And I do this constantly. I own a marketing company, which means there are approximately 9,000 tiny decisions happening all the time. Does this copy sound right? Does this graphic look right? Should we change this headline? What should we send the client? Is this campaign ready? What should we post? What should we cut? What should we add? Do I hate this font? Why do I suddenly hate this font? Because it's Comic Sans. That's the answer. And because I'm creative and opinionated, which is a delightful combination for everyone around me, I can usually look at something and immediately know what I would change. So naturally, my instinct is give it to me. I'll rewrite it. I'll fix it. I'll handle the client. I'll adjust the strategy. I'll just do it. And every time I do that, I get this tiny little dopamine hit. Look at me, problem solved. I am so efficient, except I'm not, because I've just taught everyone when something gets complicated, give it to Kortney. Fantastic. I've created a system. Unfortunately, that system is me. The most dangerous sentence in business. I think one of the most dangerous sentences a business owner can say is, nobody can do it as well as I can. Now, here's what makes that sentence particularly irritating. Sometimes it's true. I know. I can hear business owners everywhere going, thank you. Yes, sometimes you actually are better at it. Of course you are. You've been doing it for 15 plus years. Your employee has been doing it for 6 months. You should be better at it. If you're not, we've got a completely different podcast episode. But being better at something doesn't mean you should continue doing it for forever because there's a hidden cost. Let's say something takes you 20 minutes. It takes your employee an hour. So naturally, you think, I'll just do it. It's faster. And today, you're right. Tomorrow, still probably right. But 6 months from now, if you keep doing it, it still takes you 20 minutes and your employee still doesn't know how. So you haven't saved time. You've created a permanent responsibility. And business owners do this everywhere. They do it in sales, operations, billing, customer service, hiring, marketing, vendor relationships. pricing, approvals. Sound familiar? Everything slowly funnels towards one person, the owner. And then we sit at our desks at 8:30 at night saying, why does everybody need me for everything? Ma'am, sir, respectfully, you train them to. Nobody takes ownership around here. That's a famous lie. This is another one that I love. Business owners say, I just wish my employees would take more ownership. Okay, fair. But let's examine that for just a second. Employee comes to you and says, I think we should handle this customer situation this way. And you say, no, do this. Next time they come to you, what should I do? And you say, why are you always asking me what to do? Well, because last time they tried thinking for themselves, you smacked the metaphorical newspaper out of their hand. You can't demand independent thinkers and then punish independent thinkers. I know, weird. You can't say, take ownership while standing 2 inches behind them saying, not like that. No, not like that. And this is one I have to remind myself of, especially in creative work, because sometimes someone does something differently than I would. And my immediate instinct is, nope, change it. But I've started forcing myself to ask, is this actually wrong? Or is this just not how I would have done it? Those are very different things. And wow, do I sometimes hate the answer. So the 90% problem. This brings me to something I call the 90% problem. Someone else does something 90% as well as you would have done it. What do? A lot of owners take it back. They redo it. They tweak every sentence. They rebuild the spreadsheet. They rewrite the email. They change the presentation. And sometimes that may be necessary. Quality does matter. Your reputation does matter. I'm not suggesting we all collectively embrace mediocrity and go home early. But sometimes we're spending an enormous amount of time chasing the last 10% because we want something done our way. And that's not always the same as making it better. Here's the really uncomfortable part. Sometimes the other person's version is actually better. I know, terrible news. Because eventually, if you hire talented people and actually allow them to be good at their jobs, someone is going to become better than you at something inside your own company. And that's the goal. You want that. If I'm still the best copywriter, strategist, project manager, salesperson, account manager, designer, administrator, and everything else at Medici Marketing 10 years from now, I haven't built a company. I've built a Kortney support organization. And that sounds exhausting. So Enterprise Sage ruined everything for me. I just want you to know that. Now, here's where this becomes especially interesting for me, because through the work I do with Enterprise Sage and producing Build Business Better, I've spent a lot of time around conversations about business valuation. And once you start understanding how buyers look at businesses, you start looking at your own business very differently. It's mildly horrifying. It's like getting one of those mirrors with 10 times magnification. You were perfectly happy 5 minutes ago. Now you're like, is that what my pores look like? Business valuation can do that to you because suddenly you're not looking at your company like the proud owner. You're looking at it like a skeptical buyer. And buyers ask very different questions. So pretend you're buying my company. Let's use Medici Marketing as the example. Pretend you want to buy my company. You say, great, tell me about your clients. I would say, we have fantastic relationships. Wonderful. Who owns those relationships? Well, me. Okay. Who develops the strategy? Me. Who knows the client's history? Me. Who handles the really complicated situations? Oh, yeah, also me. Who approves the creative? Hi. Still me. Who brings in new business? Well, I guess John does. Oh, well, yeah. Quite a bit different. Yeah, it's still tied to me. Yeah. And eventually you're going to look across the table and ask, Kortney, what exactly am I buying? And that's a very good question, because if you buy Medici Marketing and then I leave, what's left? That is the question that every business owner should be asking themselves. Not because you're selling tomorrow, not because you even want to sell, But because a company that can operate independently from its owner is generally a healthier company. You may just own a job. There's a phrase business owners hate hearing. You don't own a business, you own a job. And that's a little harsh, but there's some truth buried in it. If you have to show up every day for the company to function, what happens if you can't? Not if you don't want to, if you can't. Life happens. People get sick. Families need us. Opportunities come and go. Sometimes you just want to go to Italy for 3 weeks and eat an irresponsible amount of pasta. You should be able to do that. You built the thing. But if taking 2 weeks away creates an existential crisis, that's information. And more importantly, that's risk. So buyers don't buy your sacrifice. This is something I think owners need to hear. A future buyer does not care how much you sacrifice to build your company. That sounds cold, but it's true. They don't pay extra because you missed vacations. They don't increase the purchase price because you worked every Saturday for 17 years. They're not sitting across from you saying, wow, you answered emails during your daughter's birthday party. Here's another $1 million. They're evaluating what happens next. What happens when you leave? Do customers stay? Does the management team know what they're doing? Are the processes documented? Does revenue continue? Does the company have a reputation independent of the founder? Can employees make decisions? Is there recurring business? Can someone else run this? That's transferable value. And suddenly the things that feel boring, processes, documentation, management, structures, training, become extremely sexy. Okay, maybe not sexy. Let's not get carried away, but financially attractive. So how do we fix this? I'm working on this in my own company. So I'm not standing on a mountain handing down the 10 commandments of delegation. I'm in the trenches with you, but there are a few things I've started paying much more attention to. Number 1, find out where you're the problem. For 1 week, track every question that reaches you. Seriously, keep a note on your phone. Every time someone asks, what should I do? Can you approve this? Can you look at this? Can you talk to this client? Do you know where this is? What's the password? I want you to write it down. At the end of the week, look at the list. Then put everything into 3 categories. 1, only I can do this. 2, someone else could do this with training or authority. Number 3, why in God's name are we still doing this manually? Category 3 is usually fun, because every company has at least one process where everyone quietly agrees, yes, this is stupid, but this is how we've always done it. Fix those. Number 2, document the stuff in your head. This is my personal favorite because I absolutely adore administrative documentation. That was sarcasm. I would rather do almost anything. But if something only exists inside your brain, your business doesn't own it. You do. So start getting it out. How do you onboard customers? How do you price things? How do you handle complaints? How do you qualify prospects? What happens when someone doesn't pay? How do you know whether work is good enough to send? What does your brand actually sound like? What happens when a key employee is gone? Write it down. Record yourself explaining it. Use screen recordings. Create checklists, whatever works. It does not need to become a 94-page corporate manual that nobody will ever read. In fact, please don't do that. Create something people will actually use. Number 3, stop being the answering machine. This one is simple. Someone asks, what should I do? Before answering, stop. What do you think we should do? It is amazing what happens. Sometimes they'll give you the exact answer you were about to give them because they've watched you for so long, which means they didn't actually need you. They needed permission to trust themselves. And if their answer is right, great. Now you have a coaching opportunity. Ask them why they chose it. Explain what you would consider. Teach them how you think. Because the real goal isn't teaching people to memorize your answers. It's teaching them how to make decisions. That's much more valuable. Number 4, delegate authority, not just tasks. This is huge. You can delegate tasks and still remain the bottleneck. Send the proposal, but I need to approve it. Order supplies, but ask me first. Handle the customer issue, but don't offer anything without calling me. manage the account, but copy me on everything. Congratulations. You have successfully delegated all the work while retaining all the decisions. No wonder you're exhausted. Real delegation requires boundaries. Someone can approve up to X dollars. Someone can solve customer problems within certain parameters. Someone owns the client relationship. Someone owns this outcome. Clear boundaries, let people move. And yes, occasionally they'll make a decision you wouldn't have made, but welcome to leadership. Number 5, let people fail a little. This one is hard, okay? Because sometimes you know they're about to make a mistake. You can see it. Your entire nervous system is screaming, move, I'll do it, please. But small recoverable mistakes are how people develop judgment. If you rescue everyone every single time, they never learn how to recover. Obviously, I'm not talking about letting somebody accidentally wire $400,000 to Nigeria because we're trying to encourage personal growth. Use common sense, but people need room. Your company can't develop leaders if nobody is ever allowed to make a decision without you. So take the vacation test. Eventually test the system. I want you to leave. Start small. Take Friday off. Actually off. Then take a few days. Then take a week. And every time something interrupts you, don't just get annoyed, write it down, because that interruption is showing you a weakness in the system. If someone calls because only you know how to approve something, fix the approval process. If a client refuses to talk to anyone except you, start transitioning that relationship. If nobody knows how to access something, document it. If everything is on fire, maybe don't take the second week yet. We've got some work to do. But the goal is that each time you step away, fewer things follow you. And pick up a Faraday bag for those vacations so your phone doesn't ring. Here's the part I really like. Reducing owner dependency doesn't just potentially make your business more valuable. It makes owning the business better. Think about why you started a company. Was it because you wanted to work 73 hours a week and receive panic text messages while brushing your teeth? Probably not. Most of us wanted some combination of freedom, opportunity, control, creativity, financial independence, and the ability to build something that was ours. And then somehow we create a business that won't let us leave. That's a pretty crappy version of freedom. Building systems isn't about turning your company into some soulless corporate machine. It's about giving the business the ability to function without requiring your constant intervention. And that gives you something I think is incredibly valuable. Choice. You can grow. You can sell. You can start something else. You can spend more time with your family. You can work on the parts of the company you actually enjoy. You can take a vacation, a real vacation. Remember those? Your business should benefit from you, not require you. That's the distinction I've started using for myself. I want Medici Marketing to benefit from me. I want my creativity team to make it better. I want my relationships to help it grow. I want my ideas to shape where we're going. I want my personality in the company. That's why I built it. But I don't want Medici Marketing to require me for every single thing because that's fragile. And frankly, it's annoying. I don't want 47 questions before I finish my coffee. Nobody does. So I'm working on it. And I'm probably going to screw some of it up. I'm going to delegate something and then take it back. I'm going to rewrite something I probably shouldn't. I'm going to answer a question somebody could have answered themselves. And then hopefully I will catch myself because building a company isn't just learning how to do more. Eventually, it's learning what you shouldn't be doing anymore. We're training ourselves. So here's your homework. And yes, I'm giving you homework. Apparently, my PhD has finally become useful. For the next 7 days, notice every time you say, I'll just do it. That's it. Every time those words come out of your mouth or even into your brain, pay attention. Then ask yourself, do I actually need to do this? Could someone else learn this? Is there a system we should build? Have I given someone enough authority to handle it? And the really uncomfortable one, am I doing this because the company needs me or because I like being needed? Oof, I know. I didn't like that one either, but it's worth thinking about because if your goal is to build a genuinely valuable company, your business can't simply be a collection of things that only you know how to do. Your knowledge needs to become company knowledge. Your processes need to become company processes. Your relationships need to become company relationships. Your employees need the ability to become leaders. And little by little, you should be able to step away without the wheels falling off. Because here's the irony. The day your company stops needing you for everything isn't the day you've become less valuable. It's the day you've succeeded in making the company more valuable. And maybe, just maybe, you can finally go on vacation without answering an email from the bathroom of an Italian restaurant. That's growth. I'm Kortney Morningstar, owner of Medici Marketing and director of marketing at Enterprise Sage. This is Build Business Better. Now go delegate something. And for the love of goodness, don't immediately take it back. Bye-bye for now.